What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 24, right? We're on 24 of the Lifted, Lowered, and Confused podcast. Today we're going to talk about, man, the struggles in building a car, right? The injuries, the follies, the woes.
That's not going to hide you from the injuries.
Why would you steal my glasses? That's going to acquire another injury for you, my friend. Anyway.
I just want to be cool, man. I just want to be cool like you.
What is the worst thing? What is the worst injury you've had when building a car?
Working with you.
That's a tough one.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
That's true.
Oh, man. Worst injury.
I can tell you that for me, I've had the only notable things that I can remember. I had two. I had one. I got some metal in my eye. Always wear your safety glasses. I was not. Shame on me. And then the other one.
You did say I was squinting for maximum protection that day.
Yes.
And you still ended up going to the doctor.
I did. They had the shards out. It was squinting doesn't always work, kids. So safety glasses.
Yes, absolutely.
But have you guys ever had metal in your eyes? It's not fun.
3 times. The last 2 times was literally, I think, almost to the day, 1 year apart.
Yeah.
It was like I went in there, he goes, when I went there, he checked me in, and they were putting the dye in my eye to find foreign material. Like, hey, happy anniversary. You were here a year and 2 days ago. And I'm like, great, can we just get this out? He goes, yeah, probably poor timing, huh? I'm like, yep.
Yeah, sure is.
Oh, yeah.
Sure is.
I've had it drilled out of my eye and scraped out twice. So I've had three visits for the metal.
Thankfully, mine didn't have to get drilled. They were able to scrape it, but they had to scrape it twice.
Mm-hmm. My first scraping was twice to make sure all the oxidation was out.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of miserable.
It's very miserable.
And you get to stay awake.
Yeah.
And look straight
You just
at 'em.
all of a sudden you ever just push your eye and see everything just kind of move.
Remember Ace Ventura when they pinned him down? And he goes, yeah.
it's just like that with a freaking Q-tip.
Except you get to hear in your head. It's fun. The drill is even more fun. That was my first
Hard pass.
Yeah.
My first one
Safety
was
glasses.
a drill, and they numbed the eye, and I got. You get to hear that.
Eesh.
And I'm over here. I'm like, all right. I said, all right, Doc. I think you got it. He goes, no, not quite yet, son. I think you got it out. Nope.
So what? It gets embedded into your eye,
Yeah.
and
Embedded.
it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if it's not embedded, it'll rust overnight if you have full
Yeah,
battery.
it starts to rust.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll oxidize.
You'll get a little rust ring around it.
And then it almost like it's like adhesive.
Oh my
That's
God.
when they have
your-
to do a double scraping or like.
Right.
Your eye reheals itself so fast that if you wait too long, you'll get a film over it. So they have to cut. That's when they have to drill.
Yep.
Because they have to
Okay.
drill through that. They can't scrape it at that point.
Wow, that's amazing. I was gonna say because I thought a lot of foreign debris that you get just kind of rolls into the back and floats around for a while. I would think that it getting caught in your eye is actually better than to have it float around into the back because that sounds scary.
I had a buddy who was in school with. He had something hit him in the eye so hard it was a perfect corkscrew. It went corkscrrewed in. They actually had to loosen it.
Unscrew it.
They had to unscrew it out of his eyeball.
Yikes.
Eesh.
And it wasn't like what you would think, oh, he's blind, right? It was just a small piece of foreign matter, but they could not get it out. You couldn't flush it out. And they used tweezers and and obviously some high-powered magnification, and they literally backed it out like a screw. It's pretty
That's
wild,
crazy.
man.
That's crazy. What about
My
you
most
guys?
recent
I
injury.
just used a big magnet.
Oh, there you go. That's
He
smart.
said that. I'm going to try. Listen, because we already know it's going to happen again at some point. I'm going to try that next time. I'm going to get a magnet, and they'll be like, and then I'll probably end up going to the doctor still. It'll be like, yeah, you probably would have been a lot less worse if you weren't stuffing a magnet in your eye.
A lot less worse.
A lot less
A lot
worse.
less
A lot
worse.
less worse. Not so bad.
See,
Not
I don't
so
think
bad.
it was actually in my eye. I think it was in my hair when I took a shower. It
Yeah,
rinsed
that's
in.
common.
I was
Gotcha.
looking in the mirror. I see something shiny, and I'm just like, oh, I got a magnet. Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Got lucky there, yeah.
Side note, who's keeping a magnet in their bathroom?
This
I went to the
man.
garage and got this.
Side note, who's keeping a magnet right on their bathroom?
This weirdo.
It's right next to my toothbrush. You guys don't have that?
Trusty old magnet.
I've lucked out and never gotten no metal in my eyes, but
Until you said that.
No. I've been lucky. I guess I haven't worked on cars as much as a lot of other people, but
Right.
I have had like for my drumsticks, I've had wood in my eye, little wood shavings or whatever, probably 3, 4, or 5 times.
Wood shavings. You
From
ain't using a mag.
drumsticks. No.
Wood in his eye.
Drumstick.
There
You
it
know
is.
who else got wood in
I'm
their
like,
eye?
come on, man. Oh, here we go. So
reverse
my
crazy.
most recent injury, I mean, under a list a mile long, is I got 5 stitches in my hand from a cut disc, cutting a
Sounds
piece of metal.
That was like right at episode 1.
Yeah.
You're all
Yeah.
bandaged up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how many? What was it? 6 or 8 stitches. I was cutting a piece of metal, and when it finally was to a point where it was almost cut in half, it apparently had inward pressure on it. It had tension inward, and then when it got weak, it grabbed the blade, and then it went bam like that and kicked back. And by the time by the time you heard that blade go boom, because it just grabbed it, it threw it back so hard, almost like it exploded. But it didn't. It just went pow. By the time I heard that, by the time I heard that, like explosion, I looked down and it was already gaped about a ½ inch wide, and it was already blood hitting the floor before the grinder hit the floor. And then I dropped it, and of course the wheel exploded then. But it went bam, and I looked over, and I'm looking at tissue, muscle, and I was just like, whoop! I dropped the grinder, and I just pinched it together. I said, okay. And of course the guy I'm working with, the machinist, Parker, good friend of mine, 24, 25 years old, he goes, oh, shit. He goes, oh, shit. He goes, guess who go? Yeah, well, he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, he looks up in the crow's nest where our GM is. He goes, somebody's going to the hospital.
And it's funny you say that. My only other notable one was also a cutoff disc, but mine exploded. I was cutting a coil spring, and I didn't have any gloves on, and I didn't have any protector on the grinder or whatever. And the thing just
Just shortening a coil, or was it under tension?
I was shortening a coil, or I was shortening a coil because it was just after the white town car got wrecked.
Oh,
And I had to put some coils under it because I was taking all of my custom stuff. So I was finagling something to make it fit, and I was just cutting the coil down real quick.
Yeah.
And the disc just exploded, and it caught me in the middle finger here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can see it there.
You can see it there.
I probably should have got. I'll put a nice graphic picture. I probably should have got some
I'll have to put
stitches,
one of mine up too.
but I did not. Debbie just put some butterfly stuff, and we wrapped it up and stuff. But that one was down to the white meat.
White to white.
Saw
meat.
all the tissues.
Yeah. I said to myself, like, you have that quick moment. I'm sitting there laughing now with this after he said, somebody's going to the hospital. I'm sitting there laughing for a minute. I'm grabbing, of course, I find like the dirtiest shop rag I can
Of course.
to put it on. Like that, perfect, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe it's not that bad. Literally, I said that to myself. I'm like, I'm getting ready to jump, go to the front to get in the car with the GM, take me to the hospital. I'm like, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I can just, tape it or glue it. And I go like this, and it literally goes, bleh, like that, and just blood goes, and I go, nope, I'm off.
Yeah.
That was it.
And I don't know if you hit any nerves or anything.
They x-rayed for tissue, muscle and tendon damage, and I was,
ligament and tendons.
Yeah.
so they said I got very close.
Yeah.
I almost nicked it.
I can't feel anything on the tip of my finger.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that. I got very lucky, dude.
If I ever need to draw blood, this finger.
Do that one.
Yeah.
He could be working with us one day. He gonna be walking around bleeding, be like, "What's wrong? You got the sugar?" Like, oh no, baby, you got the sugar. No, he got his whole finger off.
I don't know, it's fun. Like I can feel under my nail and stuff, but just the very tip. I got nothing there. It's weird.
Weird what the body does with that.
Yeah. As
A
lot
lot of mess ups.
as actual bodily injuries to me, working on a car,
Yeah.
those are the only two.
So I don't mess with any metal stuff, so I don't have any.
Well, you do when you're around us. But we make sure you're properly geared up if need be.
I work with a lot of the wiring when we do stuff, and that would probably be my injury. Was,
You get the wrong wire, you're gonna fry.
oh, I got stuck. You remember the Isuzu used to have the topper on it?
Yeah.
I had the pass through. I had red neons, 2 red neons behind the headrests, and then red neons running along the inside of the bed.
That's that old school build.
One of them,
That's
one of them was
old
shorting
school
out,
build.
and I thought it was in the bed. So I was much thinner back then. I'm in the cab of the truck, and I turn around and I start to crawl into the cab to look at it. Well, the short
It's a bold move, Cotton.
The short was right here behind the headrest. So when I got into
Oh,
that
no.
little hole,
Oh,
I laid down on it, and it shocked the bejesus out of me. And when you get shocked, what's your first instinct? To go up. Well, I couldn't because I was in the little seat.
Freaking
And
out.
I was yelling. I forget, maybe it was Frank. I was like, turn him off, turn him off. He's like, I'm getting electrocuted, turn him off. It burned a hole in my shirt. I still have a scar to this day.
oh man.
And
Oh,
all
my
you heard
God.
was it was
Trent over here.
Neil said, I found the short. We were able to fix it, and everything was Gucci. I still have the shirt. I'll bring the shirt in. It's got a big hole where the electricity went through.
I got a list. Okay, how about this? Not just injuries, but scary moments with a vehicle, and we all deal with batteries. So,
Yeah.
how about some scary moments? Anybody's got one of those before I share another one?
When I was bagging Danielle's car,
Give it to me.
I was underneath trying to, I forget, do something. I'm like, I hear air hissing noise. I'm like, what the hell was that?
That's peculiar.
I went to go reach to make sure the air line was plugged all the way in. And before I got there, it shot off. The car, I'm underneath it on my back like this. I'm the only one home working on it.
Okay.
So I had to like bench press myself out from underneath the car.
Yeah, boy. That's
You
And I was like, okay, I'm done for the day. For
You
the rest
beat
of
me
the
to
day.
that one. I was under my Ranger in my old, God, this was when I was living off Ebro Road. This is like when I maybe a couple of weeks into owning my first bag truck, and I was under the rear and I was installing a set of ambulance horns, totally legal, under the truck, and not thinking, I just loosened the line and I was just going to plug it in, and it's aired up. And that thing went, and I went like this, and the crossbar of the underside of the bed went here, and mind you, I'm on my back. My elbows were the jacks. Went, boom. I was stuck under the back of my Ranger like this. And let's just say those were very sharp shells, very jagged. And I went, and I had to literally wiggle myself out as much as I could and get my head clear so I can just yank. And I went like that, and it just grazed my shoulder. But I mean, the bottom of my arms were all chewed to hell, all chewed to hell. But and then when I got out, you heard the thing go boom like that,
Yeah.
straight up.
I've again had two scary moments that I can think of off the top of my head. One, I was jacking up a car on the axle, and I laid down right behind the car, and I was jacking it up, and it fell.
Was this with your premium jack?
You know what? I don't even know what jack this was. This was when I lived in this town.
Okay.
This was the white Cadillac I had. That engine.
Is that
blew
the one
up.
the motor fell out? Blew up?
No,
that was
Not blew
red.
off.
That was the red one.
That was red.
No, this was the white one.
That's with the top
This
flying
one,
off.
this one, the engine just gave out.
You have good luck with Cadillacs, huh?
I don't.
Or
I
Lincoln.
don't.
You
Listen,
just don't have good luck.
The engine's either going to give out or jump out.
Fall out.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's why I don't have
Straight
Cadillacs.
fall.
That's why I don't have Cadillacs. That's why I let this man buy the Fleetwood.
Yeah, but your Lincolns get wrecked.
I know.
He's like, I'm much safer in my Lincoln.
No.
Happy anniversary. Bam, hit
why
again
gotta
by another drunk driver.
Put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
That's not an evil. That's a fact. Those things happen.
Come on, man. I'm gonna get my green one crashed into.
Somebody
You know
wrecks
what?
my
Don't
Ford.
juice
I
it.
almost got. You know what? I almost got took out today. I almost got took out today
Oh.
by some old lady with a
If
Greyhound.
you get hit for a third time in a Lincoln, you need to stop
We're-
buying
yeah.
Lincolns.
I know.
Stop.
I know it.
Well, for real. No more Lincolns for you.
Or you might need to be in a turtle body because that's what it took for me to break the curse on your pumps.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They needed to be in a turtle.
The other scary moment I had was breaking a ball joint loose. I didn't have anything under it. Like
Is this part of the Jack story that you're telling?
No,
Okay.
no, separate story. I didn't have a jack underneath the lower control arm, breaking upper ball joint off. First time I ever did it.
Wise choice.
Yeah, first time. You know, live and learn.
You don't know.
You're
You
young.
don't
You
know.
don't know. You don't know until you know.
And I knew.
And thankfully, I was sitting in. I was sitting with my legs crossed, and I was getting tired of that. So I stretched my legs out and gave it one more whack, and it went. Thank God that I stretched my legs out because it went right in between my knees.
So there I was, crisscross applesauce.
It would have crushed my shins. It would have crushed my shins.
Look like a spare rib.
It's like you've seen the video of the guy holding the coil spring and then he undoes the clamp,
Hey,
crushes his finger.
yeah.
That would have been my shin.
And then just fast forwards to the stitches at the hospital. Yeah.
Oh,
Bro,
man.
that
1
video,
hour later.
like I can feel. I felt that when
Yes.
you saw that.
Oh,
I was watching that. I'm like, this isn't going to end well.
Snap, and it's so quick.
You saw the look in his face.
have you guys seen the guy who's undoing a strut
I know
in between his legs?
Yes.
And the top nut comes off and it shoots and it hits the guy. No,
Yeah,
it's all,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Not
It
cool.
shoots.
That guy was in some pain.
He was sitting there with his legs like this, and it went bam, and he goes.
Dude, he was rolling around. You haven't seen that one?
I don't think I have seen.
Oh,
We'll show you
good
that.
for you.
All right, so here's a welding accident. I was of many. Ranger, first one I owned that was tagged and everything like that.
How many times did that car try to kill you?
Oh, multiple. So I was
He don't listen.
I was re-welding the upper bag brackets because they let go. They weren't done the greatest. So I got new bag brackets in, and I'm inside, like the front is jacked up. I'm literally sitting crisscross applesauce in the fender well, and I'm welding with a stick welder. So this is way back. This is off Treasure Lane up in Venice. And it starts to rain. I'm like, I'm straight. I'm inside the fender well. I'm good. Well, wouldn't you know, the jack stand is metal. Sitting on the frame that's metal. Right next to where I'm laying, I'm sitting down and I'm hitting an arc with a stick welder. And the whole bottom side of me starts getting wet and everything like that. I'm just going, I'm doing my thing. Well, I was in neoprene pants. Bad choice.
What?
Neoprene pants.
What's
Yeah,
that?
like basketball shorts.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like parachute pants.
Yeah,
Something.
mistakes were made. So water was hitting we'll call them, what do you call my newts?
The boys.
Yeah.
The
So
boys.
everything was getting wet, and I went to do a final pass, and I hit that arc, and nowhere else on my body, but it went like that at about 150 amps, and I literally went head fender well down fender well again, and then fell out and went and crawled in the house. This thing's on the ground, just flip flapping everywhere, sparking everywhere.
God, man.
It literally cooked the bottom of the cookies. It's one of those mistakes I put in the category that you only make once in a lifetime and you never make it again.
Boy.
I can look
That's
back on
funny.
it now and laugh, but that was painful. Silver lining, still had a daughter. Didn't kill me. We're all set. Actually, no. Wait, no. I had her before that. All right, so I might be dead. Yeah, I might. Them boys might be dead at this point. Never mind.
Oh, good. Well,
Knocked out a kid sooner than
They're
that.
like a little fish just floating.
Bro,
bottom up.
they were just sitting here, like, just mind their own business, and then they went like this. Everything tightened up. Listen, you ever
bet.
heard the old expression, you ass grab vinyl? I pulled up concrete. Pulled up driveway.
Oh, man.
I've got so many,
Your next
so many
kid's gonna
items.
be a Buick
Sounds
Roadmaster.
I felt like a Buick Roadmaster that day. I'm like, what was I thinking? How many amps was that? Oh,
Well, that
Haters.
explains
You guys
that
are haters.
800.
800,
80,
30 minute.
Tris?
Tris chance.
I think I've only, in the years that I've kind of worked on cars, I only got one once that actually scared the crap out of me. And it was in the 94 C1500, my truck.
Okay.
We were doing just like, it was me and Brandon, Gardner Auto LLC, whatever here. Anyways, we were laying down on our backs. We were changing like the pitman arm, idler arm, tie rod ends, and just a bunch of steering stuff. And we had to get the starter out of the way. And somehow, as we were undoing it, or we were both just under there doing stuff, and we didn't disconnect the battery, and the starter just started. And it was just cranking and cranking. I've never seen two guys scooch out forward on their backs so goddamn fast. We thought the car was going to start and go, man.
Dwayne, what did you just send me?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Out here looking like the Kool-Aid man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, come on in now. You got to tell the story.
Yeah. What were we working on that day,
Come on
buddy?
in, Dwayne.
I was working on
It's
the
your turn.
BMW.
Come on, camera. Come on.
The BMW
I was
at
at home working on a BMW, and then we came over. And
Yep.
for like the
Burnt.
first 4
No, I
or
wasn't
5
done.
hours after
I wasn't done.
I'm underneath the front end of the BMW with my legs sticking out.
Oh,
working on
man.
the BMW.
Rock lobster.
Oh, man. So you guys are going to see a picture of our buddy
Put it
Dwayne,
right up here.
who
Got
was
some good
working
meats
on
on
his
him, baby.
BMW all day in the
He's a
hot
rock
sun
lobster.
with his bottom half out. Got cooked, son.
That blistered like bad, didn't it?
I couldn't wear pants for 3 days.
Oh.
I worked from home. I could only wear underwear and pull my pants.
Oh, man.
You looked about medium rare.
For real, bro.
I'm pretty sure.
That's
Pretty sure that's the night we were at Ricky or
That's Scotty
all of us
shop.
were at Scotty's shop doing
Yeah.
the adjustment on the struts.
Yeah. Yeah, on the Fusion.
Yeah.
For pre-bagged.
Well, I was in the bag trying to get the heights right on the.
Oh, that's right.
You got a small scare story. You almost got stuck in the back of my Ranger when you were doing some wiring.
That's true.
And then your wife threatened me. She said, if he throws his back out,
That's true.
and I have to deal with him in a thrown out back, she threatened my life. She said she was
true.
going to cap my knee. She was going to pull
I had
out,
to become-
draw down, and cap my knee.
I had to become a contortionist to get back there when I was 260.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was in your thick boy
Thick boy.
days.
He also ended up in the back of the Regal in the trunk. We have video of that.
That's true. That's true. Y'all locked
Will,
me
just
in there.
get in there, and we need you to measure this when we close the trunk. We can make sure the pumps don't hit. And he's in there for about 20 seconds. He goes, all right, I've got the measurement, Burley, but are you sure? We need you to double check. You're like, you better open this mother door right now. He was hot. He came out red.
Yeah, about as red as this as Dwayne.
He went in brown. He came out red.
It's true.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody as red as Dwayne's thighs.
They were red, son.
Jesus.
Bro,
It almost
He did.
looks like
He did,
fake.
like the Kool-Aid
It doesn't
man.
look real, man.
you look.
If he busted through a wall, buddy, and said, "Oh yeah,"
Bro, straight up, your thighs look like if I went to Texas Day, Brazil, and I put the green chip up, and they brought out some fresh meat on a skewer. About that complexion, yeah, I'll take 2.
did you say skewer?
Yeah,
Just
On the
double
skewer.
checking.
skewer,
Skewer. Yeah.
skewer.
Skewer.
Bless your heart.
What do you bless my heart?
I think I do well.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Oh man.
God Almighty.
Yeah. So yeah, those were my close calls and scares as far as working on stuff.
Well, I can tell one. Frank almost died. Remember that?
Why is it? Oh, there's always at least 1 or 2.
Well-
So he almost died.
Yeah, like legit.
Well, Trent
Almost died.
Dean almost killed Frank.
Yeah, this is different though. Like,
He was irritating me.
Let me guess. Underneath
no,
the vehicle.
no.
Okay, most of the scare stories always take place under the vehicle.
Now Frank he had a 98 Blazer. He still has a 98 Blazer, 2-door Blazer.
Nice.
And he had 815s in the back of it.
Oh,
And he had 4 yellow top batteries, all running to power it, right?
Right.
He had an aluminum, the diamond aluminum cover.
yeah, the
to make
diamond
it-
plate.
Diamond plate to make it look pretty. Well, we were getting ready to go to
Good-
Spring
good
Break
conductor.
Nationals. Oh, so we were getting ready to go to Spring Break Nationals, and he had lifted the diamond plate up,
Right.
and was doing some last minute wiring. He was wearing a metal watch, and all 4 batteries were in unison. He was on the 4th battery. He hit the positive and grounded out with the aluminum on his watch, and it literally exploded and blew him out of the truck. Knocked him out for a little while. He came to in the front yard, and he said all he remembers is when he woke up, his wrist was on fire, so he tried to take the watch off. The bands had welded together. Every one of the bands
Oh man.
had welded together. So he cuts the watch off, and he has these burn marks on his
Yeah.
wrist.
Good. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
That's
Jesus.
crazy.
disconnect your stuff
Is that
before
why
you
he's?
start playing with wires.
Is that why he's so
Real.
quiet? He just don't say much. He just. He ain't got much to say.
You talk about that story. You, oh, yeah, I remember.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Jeez.
Yeah, disconnect for real because I think me and you both got a kiss from 76 volts on my Ranger
Yeah,
at
real-
one point. I
real
was doing
quick one.
something
Real quick one.
and it was disconnected or it was connected and I got a kiss off that and then we disconnected it, but where you put your hands and then sweaty elbows
Yep.
and completed a circuit and all of a sudden arm just like
yeah, it just locks up.
does
on
a full flex
Yeah.
like you on stage. Oh yeah, it was bad, dude.
you. Yeah.
It's like
happened a couple
that
times.
sticker we saw on that one lowrider.
Oh yeah,
The
please do
electricity will
not
kill
touch.
you.
Yes.
It will kill you and it will hurt the entire time.
Yeah, please do not touch the batteries. It will absolutely kill you, and it will hurt the entire time. This was an actual warning sticker. I think if you have,
I'm sure I got a picture.
we'll
of it
have to find a picture, put that up. It was similar to
funny.
what that
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, it was solid. I think it was on an El Camino.
It was hilarious, also informative,
Indeed. Indeed.
very true.
What about driving? I know I've been in a bunch of wrecks.
Which one?
Driving.
Oh,
I know I've been in a bunch of wrecks.
I was in
In your,
a couple wrecks.
In your custom cars.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Okay.
have you ever wrecked a custom car?
I've fishtailed through an intersection in my '85 Grand Marquis when I had it.
Was this was
Were
the
you
car?
running from the Zeta?
Was it? I was gonna say, was it the cartel after you or something?
No, this
What
is when
happened,
I
baby?
owned it.
Yeah,
This
you're
was
running
in-
from them.
No,
They see me
man.
get.
No, it's just
Oh, no.
It's just a 4,000-pound steel car, man. And when you're on little 13s and it's raining out,
No,
it's
stop
just
so bueno.
Choices
man.
were made.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah.
You know, fucking the light turned yellow when I wasn't ready for it. I tried to stop it, and it just my car
said,
was just
"Nah,
like,
fam."
"No, man, we're gonna go." So it turned left,
That's
and I
cute,
brought
but
it
we
back,
going
and I
still.
turned right.
Hold on tight, fam.
Yo.
We gotta make this light whether you want it to or not.
But what's silly is I straightened out, and then everybody was acting like nothing happened. Like I wasn't just sideways looking at them a second ago.
Oh man, I was coming up a bridge. It was downpouring. I had bald tires, and all the water was rushing down the bridge. And as I hit that little slope up, I'm looking. I look driving. All of a sudden, I'm like this. I start turning.
Yeah.
Person to the right of me, she driving. She like this, looking at me. I'm looking at her dead in the eyes, and I'm just like this. All right, I'll be back. Like I did a straight up like drive. She just looked over as I'm like right at this point.
Hey,
Running from the Zetas too.
Her
huh?
eyes went like this, and I'm like this. I'm just like, hold on.
Oh man.
Did a full 360, wrapped the bed around a tree. By the way, to this day, it's next to Farlow's restaurant. If you look at the first tree when you're going, here's Farlow's on the right. The first tree goes like this.
I think there's an
Like-
R in there somewhere.
Huh?
I think there's an R in there somewhere.
Where?
The name of that restaurant?
Yeah. Farlow's.
There you go.
And the tree laid down on its side, and to this day, it just grew straight back up. So it goes, cants hard to the right and goes straight up now. I own that one.
There you go.
Wrapped it-
The only
wrapped-
time I
wrapped the bed around it.
in the Blazer, I was getting onto the highway one time on was it Sumter? On Sumter. So you know how you just turn and it was raining, and I don't know if I hit the gas too much, but I ended up facing the other way. Thankfully, nobody was there to witness it. I didn't almost kill anybody, but I was able to just back up and move along my way.
Nice.
I was on them 13s on that thing.
my Zuzu's been wrecked several times, so
No.
rear-ended people.
I had a funny wreck in the '85 Grand Marquis. I was pulling into a parking spot, and this little white minivan tried to like speed and pass me while I was throwing it in reverse to back into the parking spot. Well, as I backed up, we just bam, totally wrecked. I get out and I look, and the whole front fascia's just fell off. There's coolant leaking onto the floor. The headlights dangling down. I'm like, oh man, my car. And I look over, and it looks perfectly fine.
Next thing I know, somebody's stealing it.
I did own this car for a while.
It looks so,
went
and
to
it looks so
Mexico,
good. In
man.
fact, somebody was stealing it.
No, nothing happened. There was a little crack in the taillight, and that was it. So, I mean, those
Man.
old cars are made like tanks.
I wish I could say the same for my old town cars, but
Yeah, they did not fare so well.
they did not.
Yeah.
They did not. The whole front end got
I feel so
took
bad
off,
because
the
you had a
white
couple.
one.
My favorite one was that brown one, that like almost like a.
Me too.
That was
Oh,
a nice
I don't know
thing
what
to
color
do.
what that was, but it was a beautiful brown.
It was like a rosewood.
You have
they called
what'd you
it, I
have?
think.
Center golds on that?
Yep, center gold. That one was 100
100 spoke
straight,
center gold.
straight lace.
Just gorgeous. It was you know you could chip a little bit, get about 6-8 inches off the ground, no problem. It was just a pretty.
It was a perfect little street setup, man.
Yep, and then
A Miata took that one out of all things.
You got taken out
golly,
by a Miata?
A Miata.
Miata?
What the what?
I don't know if I would have said that like live.
No.
So
No.
so
A truck or
again
a van
again
hit
I
you.
had a dump truck hit me.
so again
Miata.
There he is.
Twice.
so again that one was on 13s. right after it stopped pouring, this little drunk kid in a Miata come behind me and tapped me in the rear, sent me spinning. And when I stopped, he plowed into the quarter panel and just folded the quarter panel.
Oh.
Yeah. Totaled
So it was just too. It was totaled, or it was just too much for you to want to even.
No,
bother
they thought
fixing?
insurance.
So he had to double
Really?
tap you. To
You
take
can figure
it
that's
out.
a 1980 something.
I know.
So
but
they go
still.
on
It was
how much is it to
89.
fix it versus how much is it worth total.
Can't you get that back? Something.
You can buy it back for like $50 if the insurance company.
I made out on that car though, because I took all the hydraulic stuff out of that one too. I paid $3,000 for that car. Insurance gave
Could
me
you imagine?
$6,000.
Can you imagine seeing that car for sale right now?
I see them for
Be like
sale.
$7,000.
The ones I'm seeing for $7-8,000 weren't as nice as my brown.
I know
one.
that's what I'm saying, and that was only a few years back.
Mhm.
Man,
Nice one. I like that one. My white one that got totaled, that one wasn't real nice, but it had potential. It ran great,
Mhm.
and that front end got
my
wiped
favorite
out.
so far is the brown one, the brown Lincoln.
Yeah,
Was it a town car?
town car.
Yeah, that was
They've all- yeah,
80
they were
what?
all-
87,
89.
89.
They were all town cars.
Beautiful car, man.
Yeah.
I wish
No,
you
I
still
like
had
the
that one.
white
I'd love to
one.
see you back in that.
I did like the white one though.
My
I know
favorite,
you know.
my favorite's Timmy's white one. That thing is so
Yeah,
goddamn clean.
man, that's so clean.
I still haven't
yeah.
seen that one in person yet.
Well, if we're
I
going
hear
for
it's
like
clean.
absolute cleanliness, like yeah, Tim's 92.
I
is
didn't.
Like,
I don't think I got too close to your white one. We didn't hang out too much back then, so I don't know. I don't remember a whole lot of it. So.
It was just like my green one, except it was white with the red guts. The interior was in good shape, but the outside was a little rough. It had paint chipping off of it, a couple dents.
I think your green one's got potential.
The green one's got potential.
My
It's
turtle
just,
body was pretty clean when I first got it. I mean, it looks bad now because the clear coat's all jacked. But when I first got it and we waxed it up, it was pretty clean, man.
Yeah.
The leather interior was like spotless.
it's an old car. It's even if it was a brand new build and brand new car, you're always going to be chasing the finish line on a custom vehicle. In this situation, with actually all of us, we all have older vehicles that are custom. So it's not even just chasing the finish line for the finished product, but there's a lot of things that you don't just want to address. They need addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Your vinyl top, your paint, you know what I'm saying? You could just keep going down the list because they're older cars. I mean, mine's what? Mine's a 93. It's 30 years old, dude.
Your car is a whippersnapper compared to mine.
Yeah.
It's a young spring chicken.
I know, and yours is arguably as clean, if not cleaner.
And not to mention all the regular maintenance like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Dude, just the coolant, the brakes, the
Everything.
power steering.
Just that, those are just that's just drivability. That ain't even, that's just function over aesthetic first.
I know.
Y'all got it made though. I gotta do lead additives and zinc additives and octane boosts. And
Not for nothing though. We
it
could
cost
always
me $150 to cruise on a Wednesday night. Like, Jesus.
and you're like that's with 2 rollers from a racetrack and a Phillip.
Right.
No, I mean honestly, dude. At the end of the day, too, down the road, if you always want, you can have that rebuilt, or you can just do a full engine transplant and take that motor, which is desirable, that Wildcat, and sell it.
Oh, I'm gonna keep that.
Some
bad
old
boy.
hot rodder would love that.
That
but
thing sounds like an animal when it starts up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I will be keeping that until.
Know all about that. Woke up Debbie. Told you not to do it.
Should be all right. That was almost a.
That was a different
That
time
was
that
almost-
she threatened
yeah,
you.
that
that's
was an almost
speaking
an
of
accident.
close calls and almost died.
Yeah.
He threw the keys at me. He's like, he told me to do it.
I'm
I'm just
throwing
like,
my hand
that
in
just
to
means
you.
he
he's
hands it
smart.
to me, and I was
He
like
took him
this,
like an idiot.
and I'm like this. What? Then she just like this. She went, and just like trained her eyes on me.
Those are survival instincts, right?
Yeah.
Common sense.
Exactly.
I don't know. He told me to start it. I didn't think it was a good idea. And I'm just like, what?
Tried to tell him.
Was that the night I almost died by bird?
No, the bird was when we were building the Regal.
Oh yeah, I was building and almost died by the bird. Yeah, dove. Listen, your
took you out
chances of
When
being
doves cry, no, it's when Dean cries.
no. Your chances of being killed by a dove or a flock of doves is slim. What's that?
But never zero.
But never zero. Slim, but never zero. Put that out there. Watch out for birds. They crafty. They don't just like to poop on cars.
I think you should put that video up there.
We can't do it. Apparently, the
Yeah.
videos from the phones don't work so well.
Yeah, because they're a different resolution, so the contrast is all off and the exposure is all off. It's a whole thing.
Maybe we put it down in the comments.
Maybe.
Come
Link
on.
to it
fair
in
enough.
the description.
Can we do that? We can put that in the
I
videos.
don't know. We'll try.
Try it.
We'll try for you guys. But that's man. Anybody got anything else? I think that about does it. No.
Oh. I haven't. Said I don't do much metal work, so
I mean, you flirt with it here and there when we get you behind the.
yeah, mine's all electric. All electric.
I'm still new to the whole building car stuff. And messing with
I guess
stuff.
But you just got to get your feet wet more. That's all.
I could tell the Steve Kohler story.
Which one's that?
Used to be in my old club. He had a old red Tercel,
Okay.
and he was working on the stereo again. We were getting ready to go to Spring Break Nationals, and I was shaving the door handles on the Isuzu with Will.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked, and we decided we were not going to go to Spring Break Nationals, or I wasn't going to go. So Steve was preparing. He was running a power wire for a stereo, and he was using a straight razor, and he was going around.
Oh, here
and
we
he
go.
slipped and cut the meat right here, and my man went through tendons. He went all the way down to the bone. It was
Eee.
bad. Chris Jansen was helping him.
Oh.
Chris
yeah.
loaded him up in his '77 Cadillac. If everybody knows Chris, like it was an immaculate car. This dude's leaking. And he's just like, just wrap it up. And they ran him over to the hospital. It was his right hand. So they did like an hour or two surgery, put everything back together, stitched it up.
Yeah.
And then they casted it. And when they casted it, his hand was a thumbs up.
Yes.
Like this. And because of the tendon and stuff issue, his cast went down and wrapped. So he was.
How you feeling, buddy?
He was like this, 90 degrees, right?
How you doing, bud?
So me and Will finish up the doors.
That's great.
About the time he gets out of the hospital, and he calls me, he's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Blah blah. I go and I see him, like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah." Because I really wanted to go to Spring Break Nationals, and I was like, "Well, I got like $300 left that I didn't anticipate having after the working on the car. You want to go?" He's like, "Yeah, let's go." So we drove to Daytona, and my man had his hand out the window. Like this, the entire trip over, like we're going down.
Everybody, thumbs up! I love your cars. They look good.
But we got there, and obviously we were younger then. We start catching up because everybody had been there for a day already, so
Yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
plastered drunk. So we started drinking real quick.
What were you doing? Just hold still.
Whatever medicine they gave him prevented him from getting drunk. Like he would drink, like the pills were messing him up.
Oh wow.
He would drink, and it would like negate everything. So he was just like, this sucked. Like he's drinking, drinking, and he's completely sober. Everybody else is falling down drunk. He's like, this is fucking awful. I should not have came. Stuck here like this. My hand hurts. The pills aren't working
Come
anymore.
on, you know
I'm not
you're having a
getting
good
drunk.
time, buddy.
You good, Steve? You good?
That's awesome.
Oh man. Well, shoot.
Good stuff.
Well, let us know in the comments any crazy injuries or stories or accidents you guys have had.
I can already see the credits now.
Oh yeah. Well, you almost got it with the grinder wheel wrapped up in your shirt there.
I've seen so many
It's
pictures
there every time.
I've seen so many pictures and
I'm
videos of
laughing.
like grinder wheels that end up in people's hats and eye
Yeah.
protection and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those things. That's why I don't get at Metal Man. I don't mess with.
Well,
that
now
stuff.
because of that, honestly, if I use a flap disc, which is just a sander, on the end of a cutoff style grinder and stuff, I don't mind if it's got no guard on it and stuff like that. The worst you're gonna do is shave a little knuckle or something like that, But a cutoff wheel, I have now a dedicated grinder that has a guard on it specifically for that, and I'm exercising every time that I pick up the cut wheel. I throw a set of gloves on. So now I've got a garter.
I put my welding gloves on, my thicker ones.
Yep. So I've got mine. I got thin gloves. I got like TIG welding gloves. So I'm still, I got good dexterity, but it's a glove and it's got a guard on it. So I'm practicing better. You learn once, try not to learn the lesson twice.
Right. Fool me once, shame on me.
Fool me twice. Well,
Shame on you.
Can't get fooled again.
But
I
you fooled me.
was gonna say can't be
Fool
fooled.
me. Fool me. Can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Fooled again. My man.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to episode 24. Let us know about your crazy accidents or injuries, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Awesome.